More on the Clinton family's interaction with Russia, a big deal or not? We're joined by Fox senior political analyst Brit Hume. Brit, is this a big deal?
Well, we knew about this. This is not new news. We've known about this for some time, and I think it's fair to suggest that when this came out, along with so much else about Hillary and Bill Clinton and the way that they raised money and all the problems with the Clinton Foundation, that those things went into the mix of public opinion, and the result was that Hillary Clinton lost the election. Now, we can't draw a straight line between any one revelation and the fact that she lost the election, but it was out there. So it's, it may have helped prevent her from becoming president. So I think, the fact that it was out there is probably a good thing. Obviously, there wasn't the to-do made about that at the time that there is about these Russia contacts. And it isn't just the fact that the Trump team didn't come out and inform the country of all these things right away. That always creates a bad story and an appearance of something being covered up. But it's also, as you point out, here she is making policy decisions, and here he is being paid extravagantly by people who have an interest in those decisions. That is a conflict of interest. It is a howling conflict of interest, and I think it was a point against her in the election.
I think it was. What do you make of the fact, this is being reported by the Washington Post tonight, that our president may have betrayed his country by sitting next to, in close physical proximity to, in any case, Vladimir Putin himself at a multilateral dinner?
It's perfectly fine for the Post to report that. What I object to so much of the time is the breathless and extravagant coverage that these events get. And I find myself repeatedly by saying, that's interesting, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, time and time again, that's my reaction. So I think that what we have is a story that has been interesting, worth reporting, worth investigating, but to date, hopelessly overblown.
The second someone can explain what the crime is, I'll be really interested in this story.
Of course, when they start talking about, a cover-up, you have to have, a cover-up, collusion.
But just tell me what the crime is. I mean, I'm willing to believe anything, by the way. I don't work for the Trump people.
You heard that.
They don't send me money. So if you tell me what's the allegation, I will get deeply
Well, your previous guest was talking about obstruction of justice, right? I think we're a long way from being able to say that.
I think we might be. Okay, one more thing. So the Republican-controlled Senate apparently failed in its efforts to repeal Obamacare, and the president has signaled it's time to sit back and let that law, Obamacare, fail on its own. Here's what he said.
I'm certainly disappointed. For 7 years I've been hearing repeal and replace from Congress, and I've been hearing it loud and strong, and then when we finally get a chance to repeal and replace, they don't take advantage of it. And I think we're probably in that position where we'll just let Obamacare fail. We're not going to own it. I'm not going to own it. I can tell you the Republicans are not going to own it. We'll let Obamacare fail, and then the Democrats are going to come to us and they're going to say, how do we fix it? How do we fix it?
I don't think that's a realistic scenario. If you have both houses of the Congress and the White House, and your party has been elected on a promise to fix this law which was so unpopular, and you don't do that, and the negative consequences of that law take full effect, the idea that you can escape responsibility for that, I think, is politically nuts.
What would that look like? That would require the White House and the Congress to sit back and watch
the continuing collapse of choice in the exchanges. People unable to get premiums rising to astronomical levels, with continuing growth in the co-payments and the minimums that you have to pay, and the thing unraveling. And I don't think it's politically tenable, particularly if you have control of all parts of the government, to let that happen and pretend you can blame somebody else.
Someone else set the house on fire. I'm letting it burn.
Well, the other thing is, who would you then blame? The people who are in charge when the law passed? Seems to me they've already gotten blamed. They got turned out of power, right? Their party got turned out of power. They lost control, first the House and then the Senate. Now these people are in power, and they can say, well, look, this was their problem, we didn't fix it, so don't blame us. No, it doesn't work that way, and it won't. And Tucker, make no mistake about that, if they don't find a way somehow, and I don't know what it would be at this stage, to turn this around and get something done on this, this will be a colossal failure, historic failure, because the reasons that are being given by these members for not being willing to vote for this, we have members of the Senate now who are prepared to keep a vote to repeal Obamacare from even coming to the floor. Now, they're free to vote against it. They want to block its consideration. These are people, in some instances, who voted for that very repeal within the last 2 years.
Right.
I mean, this is, I don't see how this is politically defensible on their part.
I don't either. Hume, thanks.
Thank you, Tucker.